Welcome to The Tech Ranch, live and local here on Super Talk 1270. The latest gadgets, online security, websites and apps, social media, and so much more. How can technology help you? Let's find out. It's time for The Tech Ranch on Super Talk 1270.
From our studios in beautiful Mandan, North Dakota, along the mighty Missouri River, here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
And today is our annual Halloween show. And I've been practicing. I need to do that once or twice today. So nice sound effects, Jim. So
for you, the living, this mash was meant to.
All right.
We're not going to play the whole thing here. Just a few seconds.
There
to
you
give
go.
a little flavor.
There you go. Get people in the mood a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're gonna scare you today, but of course not with the traditional Halloween tactics.
No.
I hate to even get in the middle of the Monster Mash here. One of my favorite songs of all time.
Do you know who's playing piano on this record?
To my surprise.
Leon Russell.
Really?
Yeah,
The
he was very young.
Monster Mash.
When he was a hired gun piano player in California.
Really?
Yeah, they hired him to play backup.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're always full of.
This was
all
obviously
these-
before he grew his hair down to his elbow.
Yes, exactly.
You know, got the funny hat and everything.
But we're going to scare you with security issues, public Wi-Fi, computer viruses, hardware issues, and much more. Probably the most important show of the year that we do here. Our scare specialist, Nick Ressler from Awesome 2 Products, is
He's
in
a
studio.
scary guy.
He's a scare specialist. Also, we're going to cover if you own the technology you purchase. Nick and I will take you through a recent experience we had with a computer manufacturer. We have never done this before on the show, but it was so bad that we're going to actually talk about it.
And we are not pulling punches.
We are going to be naming names.
I mean, this show is not a puff piece. I mean,
right.
we call it like we see it. If we have a problem with somebody, then we talk about it.
And we're going to be talking about it today. So later in the show, Miss Metaverse Kate Aquino will be joining us. Love having her on the show. She'll be talking about the Hendo hoverboard. Remember Back to the Future?
Yeah.
There's actually somebody developing a hoverboard.
Yeah.
How cool is that?
And the tech geezer is somewhere in the building. He's trying on his new Halloween costume.
What's he going to be this year?
Well, he told me he was going to go naked and wear roller skates. He's going to be a pull toy.
Oh, my goodness.
I think it might be time to re-up his medication.
Thanks for that visual there, Jim. And by the way, that's producer extraordinaire Jim Walsh. Hope you had a good weekend, Jim.
Oh, great weekend.
Yeah.
Worked on my homework for school.
Good. And, of course, we got Nick Ressler here. He's our scare specialist and he's not doing so well either today. Thanks.
No.
Yeah, I love the video. You got to explain to everybody what you did this weekend.
What I did was I raked up all I used a leaf blower. I blew all my leaves into the street, and everybody knows in town that's illegal. So they were in the street, and I thought, now how can I get all these leaves? You know, normally you put them in a bag or in a garbage can, and I had way too many leaves for the garbage can or the bags. So I went and got our trailer. We have a trailer that says we fix computers for Awesome 2. And it's fairly large, and I pulled that up. And then I went in the garage, and I was just going to take my leaf blower and put a hose on it, and I couldn't find the hose. And I noticed, hey, I have a snow blower. So I took my snow blower out there, started it up, and it worked amazing. I just blew all those leaves into the trailer, didn't have to pick up a single one.
All right.
So I thought, this is genius. So I went on YouTube, and I posted my video. Well, I'm only like 780,000 people have done it before.
So your genius idea wasn't so genius after all, but it was genius to you.
Even though, I thought of it without seeing the YouTube video, I thought maybe it would, show other people. But obviously other people have had this idea before.
So if you want to move some leaves, use your snowblower.
It's awesome.
Works great.
It's awesome. But the best part about it is it crunches them up so you get more leaves than what you're putting it in.
All right, so let's now we're going to get into some scary stuff in a little bit. We're going to be talking about computer viruses and all that crazy stuff. And you have 8 things that you want to go over there. I also have some very scary stuff about public Wi-Fi. Yeah. So you and I are going to go through that. But the first scary thing we're going to go over is, do you own your hardware?
Or software.
Well, software, I'm okay with kind of maybe that's a gray area there. But I really feel like when you have something physical, like a computer
Or
that,
a printer.
or a printer, that it's yours.
Yeah.
Should it not be yours? I mean, do you have to go through being held hostage all the time by these manufacturers? And you and I just experienced this thing firsthand. And so let's go through this story.
Well, I think what it comes down to is the manufacturers feel they don't want small computer shops and that fixing your computer.
Okay.
Now, if you buy a computer, it comes with 1 year warranty. Something goes wrong, you've got to send it in most cases. They won't allow a local computer shop to fix it under warranty.
Right.
So that's the first one.
Yep.
You know, regardless of how reputable the computer shop is, you cannot do warranty work for them.
Right.
Now, when it's off a warranty, you would think, okay, it's not on warranty. I'm going to take it to the local computer shop and let them fix it, right?
Right.
Okay. So we get this computer in, and it was an ASUS, A-S-U-S brand.
And they're a very popular
Very
brand.
popular.
Yep.
Hard drive was bad. It was off a warranty. So customer agreed. We ordered a new hard drive. When it came in, I plugged it in, turned it on. And are you familiar with BIOS?
Yes.
Okay. Explain what that is.
Well, it's the oh my goodness. Yeah, it's kind of what your computer looks at when you first start up your machine so that
It's a
you
memory.
Yeah, so that you so the computer knows what to do.
Right.
Yep.
It remembers your time, date.
Yes. What
time
hard drive
zone,
to look
what
at to
hard
start
drive,
up and
yeah.
that type of thing. Yeah.
Okay. Now, normally that's controlled by a little watch battery, and it's embedded in memory.
Right.
And the watch battery remembers that. Well, when I took the ASUS apart and I put the new hard drive in, it came up and asked for a BIOS password.
Okay.
That's pretty normal. You pull the battery, which draws down the memory, and you reset it. Well, I did that, but it didn't reset.
Okay.
It was put in flash memory inside
Okay.
the computer, so pulling the battery did not reset it.
Okay.
So I Googled it, and they said, well, you have to call ASUS. So I called them, got a hold of their tech department, and told them about this problem. And they said, well, yeah, you need the password for that BIOS. And I says, okay, what is it? And they said, no, you have to send it in, and we'll reset it for anywhere from $70 to $100.
So at this point, they could have just given you the password over the
And
phone.
I was willing to pay them. I said, I'll give you the $100. Send me the password.
Okay. But even right there, I mean, again, do you own your computer or not?
Evidently not.
Evidently not, because
No.
they've put this thing in place so that if your hard drive goes bad and you need to replace it, you have no choice but to get a hold of ASUS and
Send it to
and
them.
they literally are. I don't know what you want to call it, blackmailing you. I mean, what would you call it, Jim?
Extortion.
Extortion. There you
Yeah.
go. So anyway, everybody, we're coming up on our break. So after the break, Nick and I will continue our story on our wonderful experience with ASUS. So come on back.
Currently, it's 46.
Your news leader, weeknights at 6 and 10. Super Talk 1270.
Follow the Guru of Geek at facebook.com/The Tech Ranch or Twitter at Guru of Geek or thetechranch.com. Here again is your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And welcome back, everybody. We want to thank all of our listeners across the country and the world who listen to us on the Blueberry Network, on the Tech Podcast Network. If it's Tech, it's here. We're on Tuned In. Of course, our own app, Radio Pup. All right, yes. And in studio, Mr. Nick Ressler. He's our scare specialist today. And we're just going over our analysis of whether or not you own your own computer. So,
Apparently you do, except when you don't.
Yep.
yes. I think your mic is off there, Mr.
You do.
There we go.
You own it, except when you don't.
That's right. That's exactly how it is.
It's as simple as that.
As long as you don't have any problems with your computer, I guess it's yours. But when you
Yeah,
have an
there we go.
issue,
Yeah.
it's somebody
It's
else's
somebody
computer
else.
then. Yeah. All right. So to catch you up to speed here, we have an ASUS computer that somebody brought into our shop. Hard drive went bad. And at that point, replaced the hard drive. And ASUS now is forcing us to pay $70 to $120 to get a password so we can access the computer. So that's where we're at with the story. Nick, go ahead.
And send it in. They would not give us the password.
Okay, so we were forced to send it in.
Box it up, send it in. Now we sent it in. When they got it, they emailed us back and said it would be $140.
Okay.
Instead of the 70 or the 100.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because they had to install the operating system, which I didn't have a problem with because I would have had to do it anyway.
Right.
So we agreed. And when they sent it back, lo and behold, guess what operating system they put on it?
Something that maybe isn't so current, or maybe not even the one that was supposed to be on it.
Well, it was supposed to have 8.1.
Okay.
They put 8.
Okay.
So that means I have another 6 hours to bring this back to speed. So we called them about it, and they said, sorry, nothing we can do about it. So we ended up spending another 6 hours on the computer updating it to 8.1 before the customer could come and get it.
So now we got $140 into this. And how many hours did you have into this while you were messing with this password thing?
Oh, probably 2.
Okay.
Trying to get that up.
And I know that Alice in our office too
Yep.
had hours and hours of time trying to get this resolved on the phone.
Yep.
So, you figure up 10, 12, 15 hours here probably to try to get this resolved. And it is still, in my opinion, not resolved. I mean, we had actually asked them for a refund for part of it back.
Yeah, especially for the putting the operating system on, which they should have put 8.1.
Well, and I'm going to go back to this password thing. I'm sorry. You literally are being held hostage by this company.
Yeah.
It's an absolute outrage that when your computer breaks down and you take it to a local shop, that after they go through the work of putting a hard drive in it, that you have to call them and then send this thing in when you already are working with somebody that's qualified to do this work. We've all put a password in a computer. There isn't a single person in this planet that owns a computer that hasn't put a password in it. So everybody that's listening to this program right now has that qualification.
Yep.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Even if they charge you did something over the phone with it, I just think it's an outrage.
Well, what I can't understand is what was the reasoning behind this other than, okay, you guys out there in the field, you can't fix this computer. That's the only reason. It doesn't make the computer any faster. It doesn't make it any more secure. It doesn't make it better. Well, maybe if somebody steals the computer and puts a different hard drive in, that would be a catch.
Right.
Yeah.
But why?
Yes.
For years it's been the other way.
So, and even if somebody stole the computer, they would literally have to take the old hard drive out, put a different one in for that to happen. Most people stealing the computer, I would say most people are probably going to either want the information or the computer, but they could access that anyway.
Yeah, right.
So it's not even a theft prevention thing.
I, for the life of me, other than the fact that says, hey, guys, we're going to get this back if it breaks. And they do break. I mean, hard drives wear out. Let's
Absolutely.
face it.
Wear out all the time.
Yeah. I'd say about a 60% chance that your hard drive is going to fail at some point when you own it.
Yep. So anyway, we could go on and on and on about this, but I just think it's a crazy policy. I don't know of any other company that does this. There may be others that do, but you literally are being held hostage by this company if your computer were to break down. So, good things. All right, I gotta talk about this real quick. It's a beanie, like a beanie you put on your head when it's cold.
Beanie and Cecil.
Yeah, it's called e-beanie, and it's got a Bluetooth headset built right into it. So if you're out in the cold or whatever, Nick is actually playing this. I should be taking some photos of you right now, Nick, actually. This thing works fabulously, actually. And, he's going to put it on here. And you just sync it with your phone. And when a phone call comes in, if you're listening to some music or whatever, you can just answer it just like you would with a regular Bluetooth. Right. But it's keeping your head warm. So, hey, Nick, you look pretty good in that thing, actually. I'm going to take some photos.
Like you're ready for winter.
He actually looks pretty good in that, so I'm going to take a photo of him right now. Yeah,
there is no winter this year. We're going to go right into spring.
I sure hope not. Global warming,
all right.
Bring it on, baby.
That's right. We got to bring it on right now. Taking a couple photos of Nick right now with that e-beanie on. So, yeah, you got to go check this thing out. If you go to what'sgoodbeanie.com, what'sgoodbeanie.com, and you can actually take a look at it. They got all kinds of different colors and stuff. It's actually very cool. And functional.
Does it come in different sizes?
It does.
Cool.
So you can get the size. Like for me, I would need a huge one.
Do you know how long the battery will?
2 hours.
2 hours?
2 hours of music playtime. Yeah. So that's pretty comparable if you're wearing a Bluetooth headset and played music for 2 hours straight. Of course, if you're not listening to music, you can probably wear it for days.
This is where great for blowing snow.
Exactly. Exactly right. So check that thing out. I just thought it was very clever, so we brought one in here to see, especially with the cold weather coming up. The other thing, Tricker Tracker with Halloween this weekend. Go to trickertracker.com. You need to get this app if you have your kids out trick-or-treating and they carry a smart device with them. You can actually track where your children are at with this little app that you put on, and it's free, and we've checked them out so that it is actually a legit thing. So check out trickertracker.com and get that app for your kids for the weekend. And so we're going to go right into the other scary stuff. Nick, what do you got?
Well, let's talk about internet safety,
Okay.
which is a oxymoron.
Yeah. There is no such thing anymore, is there?
Intelligence, jumbo shrimp, right? Yeah.
Falls into the same category, right?
Yeah. When you talk about internet safety, the first thing you got to understand is there is no such thing.
Right.
If you plug your computer into the internet, it's pretty much wide open. Now, there are 8 things that you need to do to minimize your exposure risk, okay?
Okay.
As I go through them, I want you to elaborate a little bit on these.
Okay.
Okay. The first one is use a firewall.
Okay.
Okay.
So you want to know what a firewall is?
Yeah, and how does it
So,
work?
well, it's I'm just going to read the definition. A part of a computer system or network that is designed to block unauthorized access while permitting outward communication. So basically, if somebody's trying to access your computer, it'll block that, but at the same time allow you access to websites and whatever. And then, of course, if you're downloading things or whatever, it allows those things to go through because you've instigated those. But anybody who's trying to access you unauthorized will not get access to your computer.
I buy a brand new computer.
Yep.
I take it home. I set it up.
Yep.
Is that something that's on my computer, or is it on my access, my internet access?
Well, it can be in a couple different places. You know, you can have it in your router. If you have a higher end router, those come with firewalls built into them. So everything that is in your home or business that's behind that firewall has some protection then. Okay. And then, of course, you can have like Microsoft has a firewall built into their operating system that you can have on or off. Some virus protections that you use require that you turn that off for their virus protection to work properly. Some others do not, so you have to be careful with that.
Okay. And how does somebody know whether or not their firewall is on and working?
You can just go into the control panel area. So if you're in Windows, go into control panel, look at your internet connections.
Okay.
And or network connections, and it will tell you there's a firewall button right there that you can click on, and it'll tell you if you're on or off.
If your internet provider provides you with a like a wireless modem,
Yep.
Could you call them? And
Yes.
They would,
Yeah. So there's varying degrees of protection with firewalls.
Okay.
You know, so for the best thing you can do is make sure that the one on your computer is active. You know, because you don't know, especially if we're wandering around town or whatever, going from Wi-Fi to Wi-Fi or whatever, not sure if they're going to be protected or not. So the best thing you can do with your device is to make sure that you have yours
and
turned
you're
on.
gonna talk about
I will talk about Wi-Fi. I'm going to scare people like crazy with the Wi-Fi
Next
stuff.
one, it says scan for viruses.
Okay.
Everybody should have an antivirus
Right.
on their computer. When they talk about scanning for viruses, some people say, well, I have an antivirus. Why did I get infected?
Because they're not scanning. Well, even and if you scan for viruses, sometimes viruses will go on your computer and they're laying dormant. In fact, a lot of them do. They're waiting for a date trigger, or maybe you open a particular program or something, then that will trigger that virus to go active. So scanning, and I'll pick on April Fool's Day. There are a ton of viruses that have that date trigger. So they wait in your computer until April Fool's Day, and then they just unleash themselves, okay? So scanning will prevent those type of things because the scanning will pick that up and remove those viruses.
Now, the next thing they say, number 3, is scan for spyware
Okay.
and malware.
Okay.
What would be the difference between a virus and spyware?
Well, they're starting to blur the line a little bit, of course, but viruses were generally designed to raise havoc with your computer. where spyware, they want to harvest information. Malware wants to harvest that information. So, all right, everybody, after the break, we will continue our discussion on how to scare you using your computer. So,
They're kooky, mysterious and spooky. They're all together ooky, the Addams Family.
Currently, it's 46.
Get the app called Radio Pup for your iPhone and take us everywhere you go. Bismarck and Mandan's own Super Talk 1270.
We're back to the Tech Ranch. Stream this program now at supertalk1270.com. Here is your guru of geek, Marlo Anderson.
and in studio, our I don't know what you want to call him, but our scare specialist, Nick Ressler from Awesome Shoe Products in Mandan, North Dakota, is in the house.
All around scary guy.
All around.
He looks kind of scary today too. He's actually got, he hurt himself over the weekend blowing leaves, so he's walking like
Like a zombie.
There you go.
Picking leaves out of his beard.
It's not good today, no. But we're glad to have you here, Nick. And we were just going over some scary things about internet security. And like you said, it's an oxymoron. There's no such thing. And we're on step 3, I think is where we're at. 4, okay.
Yeah. And 4 says stay up to date, and naturally you want to keep your operating system up to date,
Okay.
your antivirus up to date. What are some of the other things?
Well, those are probably the 2 bigger deals.
Adobe Reader, if you have that.
Yeah, those plugins. Yeah.
Flash.
Flash, because, those weather icons that you have on your computer, I mean, we don't have them on our computers because it's
Yeah, we'll talk about those here.
Yep.
coming
Oh,
up.
okay. But
just
keep your stuff up to date.
Keep all of your software and your computer up to date.
Because the reason they come out with updates is because there's
Security
been a
patches.
vulnerability,
Yeah.
right?
They're
And
security patches.
Yep. And they're just security patches to keep people from getting into your computer. So,
This is the big one.
Okay.
This one I preach when people come in. Educate yourself and everybody in your family. Number one, if you have a computer and you're using it for work, don't let your kids use it to play games and download free stuff on it.
Sure.
I mean, my God, that's a tool. And
Yeah.
it should be treated like a tool and keep it secure. Keep everybody off of it. Get a second computer, buy a used computer, whatever, if you got kids that want to play games and that. When we talk about educating yourself, it was in a newspaper the other day, and I thought it was pretty good. If you didn't enter the lottery, you didn't win, okay? It doesn't get any simpler than that. If you get a pop-up on your computer telling it's infected and you didn't initiate it, don't respond to it. Don't call the number. Don't click on it. If you have any questions, you live in the Bismarck-Mandan area, call your local computer shop, wherever you are, and ask somebody that knows. Tell your parents. Tell everybody about this. We need to put these crooks out of business. I just get so darn mad when I hear somebody gave their credit card to somebody over in India. He got $499, and then to go through all of that hassle to stop it. And, all of that could have been prevented simply by, you get a phone call and says, I got one. They were going to give me $9,000 from the U.S. government. Come on. Who would fall for that? Obviously somebody, because they're doing it.
Yep.
And I just told them, goodbye.
Yep. Yeah, you just have to, and I know, you get a pop-up on your computer that says that your computer's infected or whatever. I mean, that's the first thing is that maybe it is, and you've gotten the phone calls too that a company's calling, claiming they're Microsoft, even saying, hey, this is Microsoft. We've noticed your computer's infected, and they'll do some quick things to it, and they're like, oh yeah, we see it's infected. It's going to cost you $85. Well, it doesn't stop there ever, people. So if you do not initiate it, do not give people your credit card information daily. You and I hear about this.
Yes.
People come into our shop daily about this, and to add insult to injury, then they have to pay us to fix it for them.
Yeah.
So it's not that you're out the $500 or whatever. You're going to be out some more because we still have to fix it for you.
And more than likely, if they log in, they're putting on keyloggers, they're putting on malware, they're putting on spyware, and they're trying to steal your information.
Right. They're getting your money, and then on top of it, they're going to get you later again.
Paying them to infect you.
Yeah.
Okay, how crazy is that?
It is crazy.
Yeah. The next one is you want to secure your home network and your mobile connection, and that's where you're going to talk about the public
Public Wi-Fi stuff.
Wi-Fi.
Yeah, we'll get into that in a little bit. So
I'm ready now.
Oh, okay. So that's your last thing that's on your list?
Yep.
Okay, very good. Yeah, we're going to talk a little bit about the Wi-Fi stuff, and we'll start with the public or your personal stuff. First of all, make sure at home that you have your network secured. Oh my goodness. I bet you and I, Nick, could walk up and down the street with our handheld devices and probably access internet on a regular basis.
So you're saying that people don't have their home internet?
I'm not saying homes. I'm saying businesses too. I have scared businesses. I've walked into one that we were doing work for one time, and I accessed their whole entire network from outside their building in my car with my
So you
phone.
can see the computers, you can see the data.
Everything.
I love it when you can print to their printer.
That's what I did, actually. I actually started sending a print job in there, and they're like, where's this coming from? Well, it's coming from my phone outside your building, So the first thing you got to do is make sure your network is secure, and you don't secure it with something that is a word. There's a reason why when you go in and they say you got to have an uppercase this and a punctuation this or whatever, because there is a thing called, and I'm looking up my notes here right now, it's a dictionary attack. So there's a program out there that every word in the dictionary is in this attack. So what it does is it attacks your computer, it attacks your if they're wanting to get into your Facebook, for example, it'll just keep pushing this stuff at it until it finds one that works. And the same is true with your network.
Wow.
So it's a computer program, and of course it just keeps going at it until it finds a way to get into it. So that's why you add things to words so that you are not susceptible to this dictionary
don't use
attack.
A common word. Misspell it.
Yes, absolutely.
I'm good at that.
Yeah.
I can misspell a lot of stuff.
But put a punctuation in there. Put an uppercase here occasionally. Yes, exactly. Because then, for every one of those that you do, the opportunity that they have to access that through a dictionary attack goes down a lot.
Okay.
So think about that.
Well, how about those people that go to a coffee shop and
Oh
use
my
the
goodness.
internet?
Yeah, I'm going to scare you big time. Last year, at CES, there's another thing called the Affiliate Summit that we go to, and I'm sitting in the press room, and there's this kind of hacker guy next to me, and I'm about ready to go online. He goes, "You're not going on the public Wi-Fi, are you?" And I'm like, "No, I use my own because I'm using some passwords." And he goes, "Oh, that's good, but let me show you this." So he has this program that you download for free, and this is a place where there are thousands and thousands of people, okay? And he opens up this program, and they're all on this public Wi-Fi. And the number one thing that people do when they're in Vegas, check their bank accounts.
Oh, I love it.
Because they want to know how much money they got left, right? I'm serious. It's amazing.
Yeah.
They were in there, and we could watch, there was a list, and it just populated like crazy. Thousands of people just boom, 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 filling up the screen. He would tap on that connection, and you could just watch as people were going to their bank account, typing in their account numbers and passwords.
Oh.
You could see everything. Absolutely everything. And this stuff is available to any hacker, or you and I could go get this program and go over to our favorite coffee shop and watch people as they enter their stuff. You'd never, ever, in a public Wi-Fi situation, want to access things that you use usernames and passwords for. If you're browsing the news, stuff like that, that's okay.
Yep.
So that's one thing that you just
That's scary.
It is scary.
That is scary.
So what's the solution when you're on the road or whatever? Most of us now carry devices that you can create a Wi-Fi hotspot with. So if you have a Droid or an iPhone or whatever, you create your own Wi-Fi hotspot that's secure, and then you have access to your internet that way. That's, to me, so if you're going to do work that you need to have secured, or you're accessing those accounts or whatever, do it through your own secured private network.
I got a question, Marlo. A lot of people out there listening to this are probably savvy and they know how to do this.
Yes.
But I know some people who have a smartphone and they're lucky they didn't turn it on.
Right.
So how do they get information?
Well, if they have a data plan, and a lot of people probably do, they get 2 gigs or 5 gigs a month or whatever. You can just go into your settings and turn on public Wi-Fi. or not public Wi-Fi, but share a Wi-Fi account or whatever.
Okay.
And it actually creates a Wi-Fi hotspot.
So they can probably go to their provider. And
Yes.
have
Yeah.
some advice.
Yeah. If they
Good.
need to have that done or whatever, or access it on Google or what have you. So I would highly recommend doing that. And this is the other thing too. My lead off to this segment was you wouldn't go into a superstore and start shouting your bank account numbers or your credit card numbers to the world. I mean, nobody's in there in Walmart going, "Hey, my bank account number is blah 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 blah." You don't do that. But when you're on Wi-Fi, that's exactly what you're doing.
Yeah.
So you have to stop doing that type of stuff. Did you have another question?
Well, no, I just have one point. Getting back to this, we've given a lot of bad news, scary news.
Yep.
Okay, here's the good news today.
Okay.
Backup. Back everything up on your computer to an external hard drive on the cloud. And I'm kind of scary about the cloud. But at least get I just looked yesterday on some of the box stores. You can buy a terabyte hard drive for $70.
Oh yeah, the prices come down like crazy.
Put it on your computer. It comes with software. Back up your computer, unplug it, put it in a safe place. If you get nailed and all your data gets lost, you've still got your data,
right.
especially your photos and your documents.
Exactly. I do have one quick thing too with have you ever been walking around, and you're like, "Oh, I got to get on the Wi-Fi," so you look to see what's available.
Yeah.
And this is a big deal nowadays, especially in populated areas. Make sure you know who you're checking or who you're logging into. If it says free public Wi-Fi, the odds are it's some hacker on the other side that wants your information. So you got to be careful who you're connected to. All right, everybody, after the break, Kate Aquino, Miss Metaverse, will be here to talk about the new hoverboard. So come on back.
Currently, it's 46.
Get the traffic and weather information you need anytime on Super Talk 1270 and online at supertalk1270.com.
Follow the Guru of Geek everywhere he goes. Post your comments or questions at thetechranch.com. Once again, your Guru of Geek, Marlo Anderson.
And we're finally finishing up with the scariest edition of the Tech Ranch every year. Nick Ressler, our annual guest for our scare specialist. And Nick, any last things before we get into talking to Kate here? Or just reminders, yes.
There's a ton of stuff out there that's free, and you got to remember where there's bait, there's a hook.
Okay.
If it's free, somehow they have to pay for that, and more than likely they're harvesting information. I had 2 computers in last week, and of the 2 computers combined, they have about 20 some of these common things, and some of them are easy downloader, Optimizer Pro, PC backup.
Okay.
If you see these appear on your computer, it's odds are you clicked on something and it downloaded, and they're on your computer. The antiviruses usually don't pick these up because they look like legitimate programs that you downloaded. They're not. You need to have somebody knowledgeable go into your MS config and see what's running in it, especially on startup. 3 things that are getting people are WeatherBug, because WeatherBug opens up a port on your computer and allows weather to update, on a regular basis. Your weather alerts, and believe it or not, Skype. Because when you put Skype on a computer and you start it, it puts it in the startup. So when you start your computer, you'll hear Skype start. So it's running. And that way somebody else with Skype that's on your account, when they start theirs, it notifies you that they're online. You need to turn that off.
Because it's an open port to your computer. Yep. Okay, so the takeaways today are close down these ports. If you get a pop-up saying, "Hey, your computer is infected," or whatever, giving you a number, do not call the number.
Don't respond. Don't click on it.
And on public Wi-Fi, don't use public Wi-Fi for banking or anything else that you need to be secured. So those are the scary things today.
Back up your computer.
Back up your computer. That's right. All right, on the phone with us, Miss Metaverse, Kate Aquino. Kate, how you doing?
I'm doing well. Welcome to the Metaverse.
Yeah, it's exciting to have you back on the show. And of course, where do we find you online?
Oh, you can always visit my website, which is futuristmm.com.
And it is the coolest website, by the way. I'm just amazed every time I go there.
Thanks.
So, and where else do we find you?
Oh, and I'm actually launching my new agency website next week, which will be futurista.agency.
Oh, great. Fantastic. Well, you'll have to keep us up to date with that. And, of course, tomorrow's your birthday.
Yes, it is.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
So, all right. So we'll get into this a little bit. You have news for us about a hoverboard.
Yes. So I don't know if any of you guys have been following. There was actually a really, really mean prank that happened earlier this year. And there was this web video it was totally viral, went all over the place. And it was this celebrity-filled YouTube video of Tony Hawk and a couple other really big celebrities, Moby, and they were using this hoverboard, and they were announcing that the world's first hoverboard's been made, and it was called Hover, H-U-V-R.
Okay.
And this video went totally viral, and everyone was talking about it. People were so excited because, all right, who doesn't want the Marty McFly hoverboard?
Exactly.
Right? So actually, this video was out for, I think, a couple weeks, and finally, Funny or Die, which is a comedy website, came forward and they said that the actual video was a hoax, and everybody was so let down about this. And no news has been heard since about any prospect of there being a hoverboard until recently. This campaign went live on Kickstarter, and there's a real company called Hendo Hoverboards that is finally announcing the world's first real hoverboard.
So do you know the technology behind this?
It's the technology. This is the thing. The technology is there. They've created a way of being able to create the hoverboard effect on certain surfaces.
Okay.
And they have made a working prototype, and it only works. It only hovers about 1 inch off the ground right now, and they're trying to keep. It seems like that you can get involved on the campaign, and if you donate a certain amount, I think it's about $1,000, you can get a box, a white box, which is a small box. It's just a working demonstration of their hover technology, and you can basically take it apart and see how it works. And they basically are trying to reach out right now to the public with this campaign to invite people to donate, to get involved with this project, and they want to be able to make this, one day be like the Marty McFly hoverboard. You could fly all over the place, but right now it just seems very restricted to what will probably become more like a hoverboard that we use at like a skate park.
Sure.
And it's exciting that instead of an ice skating rink or just a skate rink, in the future we're going to have these hoverboard parks where you can bring your family or your kids to go rent the hoverboard and hover around on these cool surfaces. So,
well, that would be okay too. So
yeah.
I think I would do it. Nick is shaking his head too. Yeah.
Do you know how it's powered?
It says here it's pretty in depth here on the Kickstarter website. It seems like I'm trying to take a look at it. They've round hover engine housings, battery cells. It looks like four engines are insert it looks like 4 circles on the bottom of the board, and I guess whatever it does allows it to just hover over this certain kind of surface.
Well, I wonder if it's some. At one time they were playing with an anti-grav hoverboard, and this goes back, believe it or not, to Back to the Future. But at the time, gravity as we know it is, it's kind of weird to say this, but it's somewhat unstable as far as it's not constant, I guess I should say. So it fluctuates even from me to you, Nick. If you were to weigh yourself over here and then weigh yourself where you're at right now, you may be off by half a pound or 2 pounds or whatever, because gravity changes like that. And to create an anti-grav board, the computer that's on board has to make those calculations extremely fast. So they thought that it would take till now before that would even be a possibility, because now computers might be fast enough to make that change now, but I'm not sure. So anyway, not to get into the anti-grav side, but it'll be interesting to see how this develops, Kate. So Moving on to the evolution of the desk. I found this article that you wrote extremely interesting. So why don't you tell us a little bit about this?
Yeah, so I always cruise a lot of different websites looking for my latest content, and I came across this video that was really cool. And it basically shows you the evolution of the desk from, say, 1982 to now. And it's interesting that the film basically, it's almost like a stop motion where it just starts out with this desk that's just full of everything from, there's a cork board that has all these things posted to it, there's a stapler, there's a copy machine, just everything that you would think about, all these tangible items that we just don't have anymore. And throughout the video, this shows a timeline leading up to the present, where by the time we get to the present, there's just a laptop. Because when you think about it, we don't need any of these things anymore. Everything is just totally integrated into our laptop or smart device that we use.
Are you kidding me? I still have a corkboard and a stapler.
I have a Pinterest account.
So you're saying that basically everything that was on the desktop in the 80s can now just be on your tablet or your computer?
Correct. And it shows basically how a lot of apps have replaced the need for a lot of things. Even when it comes to, say, like a PDF or you have to copy something. We, instead of copying things or having to send a fax, we send emails, or we're able to even now just scan any document that we have that's tangible and just email it, and it's all it's all replaced already. You don't need any of that stuff anymore. So everything is just all in the cloud, on the computer, and it's easily accessible. And it's, even when I was looking at the corkboard specifically, how many of us, I remember growing up, I always had big whiteboards full of everything,
right,
writing everything down. And now, since I switched over to Pinterest a couple of years ago, all of my vision boards are all on the web, and I can access them through any of my devices. And it's been one of the most useful things that I've had in my whole life, I would say, because I'm a very visual person, and I love planning things out, whether it be film concepts and work, and even like an outfit for an event. I use Pinterest for everything, and I love it. So, and it's true. Our desks have evolved so much, and I think this video definitely captures that whole feeling of how we've come so far since the 80s.
I think you're the first person I've ever talked to that has ever mentioned using Pinterest as a desktop or office type of, app. That's absolutely amazing. I never even would have dreamed of using Pinterest as this type of thing. I just think of Pinterest as a place to go to get crafty ideas for things.
I actually use Pinterest as Pinterest is actually one of the greatest ways I market myself as a futurist, because I do a lot of blogging, and a lot of my things are based on philosophy, and when I post, I'll just I'll pin a picture from my article, and that gets circulated a lot, and I see a lot of my traffic actually comes from Pinterest. So for any business, whether you're a hairstylist or you're a farmer, you could definitely get your business out there by using Pinterest and taking really great photos. You could buy cameras, SLR cameras now, that are so inexpensive, and they take amazing photos. All right. That's very good. Very interesting, Kate. And, of course, you and I are going to be broadcasting live from CES this year, so everybody's going to want to tune into that in January. Appreciate you being on the show today, Kate. Thank you so much.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a great week, everybody.